if you guys could feel just how heavy this helicopter is, you would know just how high quality it is. This is probably the coolest ready to fly helicopter on the market right now. Super high detail, guys. Even the cockpit inside, these doors open up and the cockpit is scale, which makes it the perfect, and I mean the perfect platform for an FPV helicopter. What also makes it a good platform is that it's extremely easy to fly. It has a flight controller, which is right here, and a GPS module. Now I'm going to show you in flight exactly how that stuff works, but it is dual redundancy, right? So if one of these stops working, the other one picks up. Both of these actually have GPS. Now the helicopter itself is all metal. Everything is just super like CNC. If you look at the rotor head, the swash plate, like everything is metal. The only issue I have with this is that in helicopters, right, if you get a wobble on startup, typically you would say that the blades are off balance. Now these blades are very well balanced. I have these screws pretty loose, but still these blades are really tight. So until this thing is at full RPM and the blades are perfectly straight, you get a little bit of a wobble, which you'll see it's not drastic, but after your first flight, everything will be fine. Now we even have suspension for those rough landings. I'm loving this thing, guys. It runs on a 4S 5,000 milliamp pack. And the batteries do come out. You have a little pin here, pops out, door comes down, you could slide it out. But let's get the remote on. Let's get this thing initialized up. It's an AT9S Pro programmable remote. It does come with this. I'm going to show you guys in the video everything it comes with in the box. This remote is programmable, so if you guys do buy one of these, you have this remote. You could buy radio link receivers, use them in helicopters, airplanes, whatever you want. And the remote does come pre-labeled, so we have GPS, 3D mode, home mode, stop, run, and some pre-programmed flight modes, which I'll show you guys in a second. This is going to be a two-part video because I'm going to fly it here. I'm going to show you guys how well it flies, a little bit of 3D with it, and then later the wind is really going to kick up, so I'm going to fly this thing in my backyard and show you how it fights the wind. That GPS module is pretty serious. Now, the one thing when you're in GPS mode, right, you have to wait for that blinking yellow light. That is your brain right there. So once that turns green, that means GPS signal is locked and you guys are ready to fly. When you're in 3D mode, it's going to be blue. And when you're in return to home mode, it's going to be purple. So again, I'm going back to GPS mode. It's blinking yellow. Once that's green, we're ready for takeoff. All right, as you see, we got that green light. That is our go-to. So we're going to hold these out 5 seconds. And then we're going to hit stop to run. So that tail rotor spools up first, main rotor, and then we get in the air. Takes about 15 seconds for full spool. Now you see how it's vibrating a little, but once we get full RPM, we're dialed in. Now the key to taking off, nice and easy on the stick. And she's up. Now guys, it's loud, it's intimidating, but I promise you this is one of the easiest helicopters you will ever fly. Look at my hands right now, they are not on the stick. So we're going to go full left rudder, full right rudder. I'm going to go up a little bit more, let go. Now, you see how the sticks are centered? No matter what you do, at any time you let go, it's going to level out and the helicopter is going to hold its position. So I'm going to go full forward for a second, give you guys just a feel of how fast it is. It's not a crazy fast helicopter when it's in GPS mode. Now, it is programmable though, right? So we're going to be able to go in there. We could actually change how fast it is if you want it to go faster. Now watch as I'm going forward, right? I'm going to let go of the sticks and it's going to completely stop and hold its position. So definitely a cool heli. It's perfect if you want to fly FPV. Again, if you fly far away from yourself and you lose where you are, we have a return to home button, right? So if I hit that, it's going to come in. Well, actually, yeah. So if you're not high enough, it's going to climb out to move away from any obstacles, and then it's going to come home. Now guys, I'm not touching the sticks right now, right? It's doing its own thing. Now you'll see it's gonna start coming down. Once it hits about 20 feet, it really slows itself down for the landing. And right there, you see, it just slowed itself down and it's gonna come in and land itself. Now I'm gonna cancel that because I don't actually wanna land right now, but I will show you that in a second. I'm going back to GPS mode and I wanna show you the pre-programmed flight modes. So right here, I'm gonna bring it right about there. I'm gonna let go of the sticks again on this side. It's a 0 and an 8. So if I put it in 0, it's going to fly a perfect circle. So nose in circle, again, if you have a camera inside, you could circle around something. So if I want to put another helicopter just hovering in the middle, I have my helicopter flying a pre-programmed flight mode around the helicopter that would be in the center. And it'll fly that indefinitely until it either runs out of battery, which at that moment it's gonna return back to home, or I cancel it out. So I'm gonna go back to normal mode. I have control of the helicopter. I'm gonna bring it right about here. We'll bring it a little lower. Now I'm gonna hit figure 8 mode. And again, it's gonna fly a pre-programmed flight mode. So figure 8. Now I hope it doesn't come too close to us. Let's see. No, we should be fine. It's gonna completely turn now and fly that figure 8. Again, it's gonna fly this pattern indefinitely until you actually either cancel it or it runs out of battery, which these will never fall out of the sky. When it hits that low battery, whatever it's set to, it's gonna bring itself back and land no matter what you're doing in flight. So I'm gonna shut that off. And now we're gonna do 3D mode. So I'm gonna get it away from myself a little bit because this is when it really kicks up some head speed and it kicks up all the rates and stuff. So I'm going 3D mode. Now you hear that? Now guys, this is where if you're a good helicopter pilot, you really can have some fun. I am not a really good helicopter pilot, but going back into GPS mode. This thing has incredible power. All right, let's go back 3D mode. And that's when, like, if you're flying FPV, you'll get a lot more speed out of it. Let's see if I can hold it inverted for a second. This is such an expensive and beautiful helicopter that I do not want to crash it. All right, back in GPS mode. I am terrified of this thing. It's so nice. I don't want to crash it. But yeah, man, you're starting to see why I like it so much, how well it flies, and kind of why we're going to FPV this. So there's definitely going to be a part 2 to this video. Now, the last thing I'm going to do at the field before I bring this thing home to fly in my backyard in some heavy wind is I want to show you guys that full return to home function, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly away. Just kind of get this thing up and away. Now I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to hit return to home. And I'm going to put the remote down. Here, you want to show me for a second? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to put it on the floor right here. And I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to forget about it. In case you're wondering, there's my hands. You guys hear it. It's as it's coming down, it's fighting its own, I forget what that's called. But it's fighting the wind that it's creating. So there you go, right about there. It's going to slow down drastically, and now it's going to come down nice and slow. And now when it touches down, it should even shut itself off, just like a drone. If you guys are ever worried about like flying one of these, and again, it's a good safety feature to have on a helicopter, I think, because if something happens, right, while you're flying, and you need to tend to it, you could just hit return to home, put the remote down, and this thing will come home. Now, for a helicopter this size to do something that cool, it's just showing how advanced the hobby is getting. Now, while this is landing, let me just say, a lot of you guys are probably like, why would I want a helicopter that flies itself? Well, not everybody wants to learn how to fly, you know, these 3D helis. Some of us just might want to fly something as simple as a drone. Now, I think I showcased pretty much how well this thing flies at a field. It is 3D capable, but really, I want to show you how it handles in wind. So let's get this thing home. Let's get this thing in my backyard and wait for that wind to kick up. We'll put it back up. So see you guys at my house. We're in the backyard. So I got a green light. In case you guys, you know, you FAA police out there, we do have our little standalone remote ID unit inside. So we are complying. Allowed to fly in the backyard, all is well. This is well over 250 grams. So if you guys are flying it, you definitely want to have remote ID. I don't want to see anybody get in trouble. So let's get this thing up and see how she performs. Definitely a little scary for a backyard, but once you get it in the air, you know, I was taking off in a pretty tight space over here. This thing almost sounds like one of those like mosquito helicopters that used to come flying around. It looks like it too. But yeah, guys, as you see, a helicopter this size, this powerful, flying in the backyard, no problem. I don't know if you can notice too, on the left and right side, we do have navigation lights. I'll get a little closer and you'll see on the left side of that, you have that little green light right there. Yeah, man, very cool. Now, I did say that I wanted to show you guys how this thing performs in wind. Unfortunately, right now it's really not windy out at all, but I'll put it up high. You see there, if you look, Shah, you want to show me for a second? I have no problem putting the remote down. Even if it was like 15-mile-an-hour winds, full confidence that, you know, that flight controller and that GPS is going to keep this thing extremely stable. You know, this helicopter is definitely a beautiful showpiece. For those of you guys that are into RC and trying to get something that, you know, is definitely a showstopper that not many people are going to have because of the price point, this is definitely it. And again, man, you can fly it at the field, you can put it in 3D mode, you could hover it around a backyard. You will get good flight times on it too. 5,000 milliamp pack, the way this is flying, I would say probably 8 to 10 minutes. You know, they might say you get a little more, but the good thing about these is you don't have to worry about it just kind of dying and falling out of the sky, because if the battery gets low enough where it's going to fall out of the sky, it's going to bring itself home and land. Now, what I do want to do is see how good that GPS return to home is, because you guys seen where I took off. So right now we're going to hit return to home, and we'll see if it could land itself in the area that I took off. So I hit home, you guys see, it's climbing to a safe altitude, and it's going to start its return home. I'm not touching the controls right now. So let's see. Yeah, seems like that's a, let's see. I'm going to go back into GPS mode. And there's a bald eagle flying up there. He's checking out my heli. So you guys, this thing will definitely land on the house. So from where I took off, we're probably about 8 feet away. So I'm going to have to cancel that out. Can you zoom out and show where it is? I'm going back into GPS mode because it will land on the house. But
wait, can we actually pause? I want to look at that bald eagle.
look, where is it?
It's behind us.
Really? Where? Let's see if we could, oh no, it's up high, man. Well, let me bring this thing in for a land, because I showcased what I could do in a backyard. Bring it in, we'll land it. We'll call that a successful flight. So to bring it in for a land, guys, backing it up, right? We're gonna bring it down, nice and easy. Now the cool thing is, once you land it, you could actually just leave it. It'll stay on the ground like that. I don't have to do anything to stop the propellers. Go from run back to stop mode, and it will spool down. Now, if you guys are asking me my honest opinion about this helicopter, I really think it's beautiful. I think it's definitely unique, one of a kind. The amount of CNC that went into like machining all these parts is absolutely incredible. It really is beautiful. The price point, you know, I understand why it's so expensive. Might steer a lot of you guys away, but if you do have a big budget, you're definitely getting a lot of helicopter for the price, and you can progress. You could go from GPS mode to 3D mode, and you will have confidence flying all kinds of, you know, ways an RC helicopter should. So if you guys are interested in something like this, the link is down below. If you're interested in making it FPV, make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to be making this FPV, and then we'll show you a video of how we did it and get some flight footage for you guys. So as always, appreciate you watching. Until next time.